Hey everybody, it's Dr. Liza Long. I am coming to you at the end of a very, very busy week, but I wanted to share a quick video where I'll walk you through some administrative tasks that I gave to three different chatbot interns. I'll start with my favorite, Claude. I have a little crush on Claude. Then we'll look at ChatGPT, that's kind of the standard. And finally at Gemini, which I am just starting to use again because I was so blown away by Notebook LM. Let me share my screen. So the task in this question that prompted this video was that I just have no time, like so many of us. And I had just a really crazy schedule on Wednesday where I needed to give a presentation to some faculty on open education resources. And I had not had time to prepare any kinds of handouts or information for the session. So with about 15 minutes to spare, I hopped onto Claude, said, "Hey, Claude, I need some help." And Claude is really great at this, right? So I basically just wanted it to create an open publishing platform. But I also started thinking, I've been thinking a lot about rhetoric and about things like user interface. I'm back in graduate school. I'm in a teaching rhetoric class right now. And uh, so I started thinking about the interface, why I might choose a certain LLM over another. And for me, Claude feels a lot like an academic colleague. And that's kind of how my chats go. You'll notice Claude has a friendly, professional, helpful tone. It does feel kind of like an assistant or associate professor. Uh, we iterate, of course, it didn't get it right exactly. We're having some chats. I'm asking it some conversations. I ask it to add a notes column. So this is ultimately close to what I wanted. And I've now got websites. I've got this lovely table. You can scroll over and you can see all of those notes that we've been talking about are in there. Now, Claude did not have everything that I would have liked. So then I asked it, oh, can you create an Excel file? Because that's ultimately what I wanted. I knew that from the start, but I didn't tell it that at the beginning, to be very specific when you prompt. And it said, no, I can't. And it gave me these great instructions and they totally worked. And I was able to create an Excel spreadsheet very quickly. But then I caught something it didn't know, ed tech. I was like, ed tech's not on here, so we're definitely having a conversation, co-working on this. I updated it for me. We finally get there. We're going through tools as well. So we created some interactive tools for OER creation, again, with looking at timelines and things like that. So the next day I was like, oh, I know what I should have asked for, a CSV file. And it was like, yeah, you're right. That's what I love about Claude. Claude's like, I probably should have suggested that to you. That's really great. So overall, I just really enjoy working with Claude. It's just a really pleasant experience. I feel like I have a great working relationship with this particular AI tool. All right, but then I shared this and then I thought, oh wait, if I do this with the other two chatbots, I can show the faculty I'm working with the differences because they're all pretty new to AI. I thought, oh, this might be a fun way to show them the differences in working with different AIs. So going over to ChatGPT, and it's a very similar chat, right? So, and we iterated again. So exact same prompt, gave me similar stuff, but also some differences. It's worth noting the differences. I like it brought in Canvas Commons and Merlot, which is not actually a platform. It's more of a repository. So it's interesting how it thinks. Suggested a few other things. It went ahead and gave me the websites after I asked for it. And then I asked for recommendations. I get those again. Keeps updating the table. I said, oh, I'd really like an Excel file. Oh yeah, of course, I can do that. Here it is, right? Instantly. So really great. ChatGPT, just think about the comparison in the interface here, right? Like this is very clean, business-like. The tone is very chop chop. Let's get her done. And I honestly, as you can see from the left-hand course menu, use ChatGPT for quite a few things, just like quick, quick brainstorming sessions, thinking about things, lots of I guess I shouldn't point out asking it about the Wojak versus Chad meme. Sure, whatever, So I'll use ChatGPT for a lot of like minor administrative things. I tend to go to Claude for bigger projects, which is why knowing I wanted a project, I went straight to Claude. Then finally, Gemini. So I had not really used Gemini much at all, but then I heard about the gems. And honestly, Notebook LM is what has brought me back to Gemini. And very far in the past, I had done some stuff with Bard, which Bard is just a terrible name, right? But I thought, no, I'm going to give Gemini a chance again. Look at the difference in the interface here, right? Like Gemini's got some vibes for sure. It feels hip, it feels trendy. Skews quite a bit younger, I think, than me. I'm Gen X. I think this is my Gen Z intern. Same exact prompt, and I'm in luck. Why, yes, I am. Thanks, right? Like, check that tone out. So this is what I really liked because Gemini intuited that that's exactly the output I wanted, even though I hadn't specified in the prompt in any of them. I used the exact same initial prompt for all three. Although I really should have specified that this was the output I wanted, and I probably should have said CSV file for Claude. And here it is. Like I didn't ask for it. Gemini was like, "Hey, here it is." And a little more chatty, right? Like it's just kind of got a different vibe. Here, a little glitch. I asked it to bring in the websites. It said, sure, here they are. I'm like, they're not there. So it did it again. Now I've got it and I can export to Sheets. Gives me recommendations. It's interesting that it actually ranked Google Sites lower than the other two platforms. I do use Google Sites. I recommend it a lot as an OER creation tool. I've had some great projects from different faculty. So we're getting that table. And then because I really haven't played with Gemini much at all for a long time, I was like, hey, will you write me some code? I've been testing that with the other tools lately. And I was like, let's create a decision tool that might help faculty to choose the best OER platform for their project. So, and I've taken like one whole introduction to Python course now at this point. I do think this would probably work, but I haven't run it through my Python compiler yet, so I can't say if it works for sure or not. But I do think that this checker, like looking at how it would interact, would probably work pretty well. And I love this feature of Gemini as a total newbie to code. It's telling me why it wrote the code that way. That's very helpful for me. Anyway, that's a quick takeaway. You can read the fuller blog post where I've kind of given these guys some personalities, and they are guys, unfortunately, right? Like that's the way it's skewing. But yeah, please reach out if you have comments or if there's anything else you'd like to see. And other than that, have a great week and happy prompting. Thanks, everyone.